So after spending the night in Scotland, that's me finally home after the game yesterday. And I have to say, I've never had an experience like that before. That was my first Old Firm, but I've been to countless Rangers games before that, as well as other Premier League games. But obviously Premier League games don't compare to any Rangers game. You don't really get the passion from the fans. Don't really get the passion from the players either. I know it sounds crazy because quite often we slate our players for not really seeming to fight for the shirt, but it is all about money down in England as well as other countries. But this game in particular, if I summed it up, it'd just be noise. There was just noise all the time, and it was just fantastic. An electrifying atmosphere, and what I really liked about the game was that the fans stood up all game, particularly the away end. I'm not sure about the Celtic fans. I think I saw them sitting down most of the game. Can't be sure. I wasn't really too focused on them. They were to my right and far over to the left and ahead of me. But I think the first thing I noticed was that the police did a fair job of separating the fans. There was no real trouble due to that, other than at the end of the game you got a few nutter Celtic fans that are trying to walk through the houses and trying to square up to Rangers fans. But in a way it was quite funny because Rangers fans would let the police know when there were Celtic fans there by chanting the word pedos, completely oblivious to the fact that the police were listening and sort of using that as an indication as to where the next Celtic fan was. It was just quite hilarious. But sort of getting into the game, I didn't go there with high hopes, despite the fact that they were taken down by Hearts 4-0. It was just that we showed such inconsistency before going to that game that I thought surely Celtic are going to sort of take advantage of that and be the dominant team. Plus it was at Parkhead, although last time we were at Parkhead Murty got a draw as well, so that's 2 games and 0 losses for Murty against Celtic. That's pretty impressive. But I wasn't hopeful, but the people that I went with thought that we were going to win, and I thought, Christ, I'd love to have the feeling like you. And every part of it was sort of really exciting, even from getting off the coach, walking up to the stadium. When the team was announced, and one thing was ringing around the whole stadium, it was that Cranchar was starting, everyone was whispering it to one another, questioning why. And I'm going to penalise him first, actually. People say he warmed up in the second half. For me, he should have been taken off in the first half. It was absolutely atrocious. He couldn't string a couple of passes together, gave the ball away. He looked like a toddler amongst men, like the kind of Sunday League player that just can't kick a ball. If he kicked the ball, he'd be off balance. When he ran, he was running from side to side like he was overweight, even though he's not. Maybe it's the match sharpness, the fact that he hasn't really been playing a run of games for a while. But to me, you just don't lose it that much. Even then, that was really something else. But in the second half, he made a couple of good passes, a couple of good headers, and a lot of fans seem to forget the first half performance. What was funny though was obviously you were shouting things at him all game. And then when he turns around and claps after being sent off, you're like, yeah, see you later, Nico, mate, clapping him back. Poor guy. But I think the majority of the team, they could have walked off being proud of their performance, and I'm so glad I can say that. Tavernier, I was very, very impressed with him. He just bombed down the wing, and once he found out that he could run at Celtic's players without really a good challenge, he just kept on running, and all of his crosses he was putting in were fantastic. Honestly, he was a stand-up player for me, and I love that. I love praising Tavernier because when he does wrong, I'll always point that out. I even said it to him once when I met him, actually. I shook his hand, got a picture with him and said, Tav, any chance that when you run up the wings, please track back? I was a little bit cocky looking back, perhaps that was wrong. But other stand-up players were Ross McCrory. He just did not give up. He was in the face of people like Scott Brown. He got a nosebleed, gets up, continues after being seen by the physio, whereas Bruno Alves just sort of ditched after a slight niggling injury, I guess. Sort of seemed to me like Alves was there, like there must be something in his contract that says you must appear in so many games against Celtic before you leave, and I'm guessing that he's going to go in January because there's no way in hell he was injured in my opinion, but bear in mind, take that with a pinch of salt, it is just my opinion. Then of course there's David Bates. David Bates, fantastic. Replaced Bruno Alves in what I think was the 19th minute and just did not stop chasing the ball. Danny Wilson as well, a very, very composed defender at the back, and even Declan John making some fantastic runs. Alfredo Morelos, now he worked his arse off. I tell you what, when we were defending at the end I was at, which was the first half, you see Morelos literally sprinting down and making tackles at the left back position and then running back up. Fantastic work rate, but one of the things that he did was he nutmegged Scott Brown and then he sort of cut inside. If he made a pass, he'd have passed to one of 2 people, at which point in time they'd have finished it easy. Open goal pretty much, because the goalkeeper, obviously, Craig Gordon, moved forwards towards the ball, which ultimately put Morelos off his shot. He should have passed the ball, but he's a goal scorer, and all the great goal scorers, I guess, are a bit selfish, so fair play to him. But I honestly think fantastic performance from the team. The only player I don't think did really well was Josh Windass. But then again, the other members of the team were performing so well. even a decent performance wouldn't have looked that good at all. Then of course West Fotheringham, he made some crucial saves, but so did Craig Gordon. Fotheringham's a player that I think is severely underrated, and I'm glad that fans are starting to recognise his hard work. Now we're talking about Graham Murty. Graham Murty had some fantastic ideas. It was clear from the start that his game plan was to get the wingers to track back and try and put the challenges in, to make players press against man-marking players that they were there to mark, and to make sure that no player had freedom once they got the ball. Any player that was without a man would run towards the ball. That, of course, Celtic to pass the ball backwards and backwards until it got to Craig Gordon, and then sort of the play would start again. Without space, Celtic were nothing. And I actually walked away disappointed, just like Alex Ray said. Got a picture with him as well, actually, hoping to do an interview with him. But it was just a fantastic experience. Honestly, the best match. Not the best result I've ever been to, but my favourite match that I've been to actually at this point in time, because we played so well. And I did not expect it at all. Company I was with was great as well. But yeah, that's it for now. One more thing actually, when we were on the bus on the way back, it reminded me of like a primary school, but basically since there was traffic, a Celtic bus came past us, and I said to Dad, a Celtic bus has just gone past. He was like, really, I didn't see it. And then the people at the front of our bus just go, pedos. You just knew it was them. And you kept on like doing a bit of back and forth, going past each other, and everyone's face was filled with delight as they were getting pretty animated with what they were doing to one another. But it was just, that bit was just a bit of good banter, to be honest. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed the whole experience, and I'm just saying things that are probably hilariously obvious to every single one of you that have been to an Old Firm before, but not for me. But yeah, fantastic experience, and I hope you enjoyed the video. But I doubt anyone's watching as it's New Year's Eve, but there you go. I'll be off and out of my doing my own things now, so I hope you guys enjoy New Year's Eve, and happy 2018 to anyone watching past tomorrow. So see you later.